Hey guys, gonna put this little bit of a video together today just to chat about my recent usage with supplements and currently my usage with Sarms, which I'm running to try and fix myself up after an injury sort of back in February before the Pro Roll competition. Now, before I start, I'm no expert, I'm definitely not a doctor, and this is just my 2 cents worth and sort of my experiences, so I'll try and keep the video sort of short and sweet because some of the previous ones have waffled on a bit. Now, I guess the reason behind making this video was just to try and create a little bit more of awareness and get a message out there to sort of young and new users or people who are actually contemplating jumping on, you know. I think there's a lot of controversy associated with steroid usage, and people do have their own opinions based on whatever, you know, whether what they've read on the internet or sort of personal experience with it. But I just wanted to share my experience and sort of my views. But yeah, look, I've been using for about 6 years. I started off on TRT and sort of progressed from there. Started the gym and then started experimenting with different compounds. I think initially TRT dosage was usually around about sort of the 250 milligrams, and that's what I generally run year round, and that's what I'm currently running at the minute. Now, I started experimenting with sort of compounds like Deca and Masteron, Equipoise, that sort of thing around the, you know, the 250 of each, and I got really good results from then. So I mean, looking back, my opinion of steroids, you know, I think if used correctly, they can be a great tool towards helping sort of build a physique and helping train harder in the gym. I mean, they're great for recovery. They are a great tool for allowing sort of increased muscle growth. And but the thing is, you know, none of these steroids will work if the basics are not in place. And like, this is something that a lot of new users fail to understand. Like, you need to educate yourself about diet, training, rest, because rest is a big thing. You don't grow in the fucking gym. You grow when you're outside the gym and you're eating and resting and recovering. And you know, I see that, you know, guys in there like training fucking 3 hours each session and smashing themselves in the gym. They're not putting enough nutrients into their body, and they're not resting enough. They're overtraining and wondering why they're not fucking growing, you know, regardless of what they throw into their bodies. But yeah, look, I think my opinion with them is less is better, because over the years I've certainly given them a bit of a nudge, and back in February there I suffered the consequences of abusing. Now, that wasn't the steroids' fault, that was my fucking stupid fault, and but this is the thing, things like this can happen, as it did to me in February, and a lot of people will jump on the bandwagon, you know, like, steroids are bad, steroids are bad, steroids are bad. Well, yeah, no shit. You know, if you abuse steroids or any other drug for that matter, you know, you're gonna pay the price. And you know, if I drink to excess, if I, you know, take other drugs to excess, they're all gonna have sort of a negative impact on my body, mental health, and physical well-being. That's for sure. But yeah, the recent scare in February certainly brought a few things to life for me and made me realize that, you know, there is a point of diminishing returns with using steroids. And I think a lot of people can get very easily caught up in the whole starting off small and seeing results, and how that can actually sort of spiral out of control without even realizing it. It certainly did for me, but and that was one of the strange things. I don't know how that sort of came around. I mean, I have got a very addictive personality, and I have had problem with addictions in the past, so there could be a correlation between the addictive nature or the addictive sort of mental side of running steroids, seeing those improvements, especially when involved in a sport that we strive to improve, and we run towards goals. I mean, like powerlifting for one, you know, you set out some numbers and some goals, and we move towards those with the training, and we get the comp, we beat those numbers, and we set new PRs, records, whatever, and it's then back to the drawing board, you know, like how can we improve on that? And it's a constant state of looking to improve. And I know from personal experience, and I know, you know, with guys and girls I've met throughout the sport, that there's never a number that you can work towards where you'll think, I'm happy with that. You know, you get to that and think, fuck yeah, let's move it, let's keep going. And this is the thing with the steroids. Using the steroids to help move towards those goals. For me anyway, I got into a little bit of a vicious cycle there where I thought the more steroids I take, the quicker those goals were going to come. But like, I mean, look, yes, they definitely helped, but what I found along this quick journey that I've sort of been on is they have also created a lot of growth along with the training and the diet. But what I didn't realize is the muscle growth is quite quick, the tendon growth isn't, and I started running into problems with sort of tears in the tendons and what have you. And this, after doing a bit of research, it looks like, you know, there could be some merit in the muscles can grow a lot quicker than the tendons, obviously, and the tendons are the first things to start falling over because we are pushing the boundaries of the weights, and you know, there's only so much they can handle before they let go, the tears build up, and yeah, as I can attest to, I've had multiple shoulder injuries and currently nursing another injury through the supraspinatus. The thing is with powerlifting, I mean, this is one of those things, you know, it comes with the territory, and especially my age, I'm 50-year-old now, so I am prone a little bit more, I suppose. But with what happened in February, I've had to dial things back a lot. I mean, I was running some pretty aggressive cycles back then and previous leading into these, and I nearly paid, I nearly paid the ultimate price, and that was all down to me. That was user error. And this is the thing, you know, any drug can be abused. Doesn't necessarily mean that that drug's a bad drug. It's generally because of the fucking user. There's a lot of drugs out there. There's a lot of abuse, and steroids are definitely one of those drugs that does get abused, unfortunately. Like with new users, if you're sort of on the fence and you're thinking about jumping on, then that's not a question you need to be going and asking any of the guys in the gym, your friends or whatever. This is something that you have to make a personal choice for, and you've got to know the implications of moving into that. If you're a young guy, I would highly recommend not doing it. You know, learn to train, look at your diet, and try and maximize your normal potential before even considering it. There's a lot of young guys get on and they're uneducated and they haven't put the work in previously, and it's look, the thing is with social media, you know, we all see these big guys, these big girls, you know, they're all fit, they've got the six packs, the big shoulders, and everybody is trying to achieve things as quickly as possible. Everybody wants stuff now, you know. It's the world we live in today, you know. Nobody wants to work for that, you know. They just want it now. And like, I'll be honest, you know, I use steroids as a sort of a means to try and get to that goal quickly. It was all working well until recently, obviously, and I got to learn the hard way that it's not gonna, if you push the boundaries with it, it's gonna hurt you, that's for sure. And like I say, that's down on me, and I'm not going to cry about it because it's my own fucking stupid fault. And a message out to those new users, you know, this thing does and will happen to you if you're gonna sort of play with fire. You're gonna get burnt. And but that's not to say there are some big benefits. You know, I currently am running TRT, and probably feel the best I've felt in quite a few years, and it wasn't until I actually come down off all of those, you know, aggressive cycles that I realised, you know, I'd been a little bit sort of a bit of an asshole at times. Not proud to say that, but certainly running one or two of those compounds. I mean, like, there's something I would never ever touch in my life again, and that's trenbolone, simply because of its psychoactive properties. It's I hear people saying they can run trenbolone and there's no issues, or they can deal with the issues. And my question to you is, why would you even fucking put up with the fucking issues, you know? Because is it really worth the few extra kilos on the bar? Is it really worth the little bit extra gains you're going to get for the mental sides and, you know, all the other shit that it does to your body? Because what I found out the hard way is it wasn't just the effects on me, but it was the effects on my family and those people around me. You know, it actually changed me, and it wasn't until I actually came off this compound that I actually realised how much it had actually changed me, and it took a while for me to sort my shit out. Yeah, very aggressive compound, I found that one was. Testing Decker, you know, good old fucking John Doe fucking cycle. It's something that's been used from fucking day dot and is a great combination. And you don't need to take a lot. And that's the thing, you know, these big cycles are bullshit. And I'll say that, you know, yeah, I mean, look, I've joked about it. I mean, one of my friends told me over a coffee, one of his friends turned around and said, he was asked, what's the side effects of taking steroids? And he jokingly turned around and said, you get fucking massive. I mean, there's some merit, but, you know, it's not just, you know, taking a couple of injections and looking like Ronnie Coleman or fucking Jay Cutler. That's not going to happen. You know, you still got to put in fucking years and years and years of work and be very consistent with your training, diet, your rest, and everything else. There's huge amounts. I mean, I'm even scratching the surface with what I've learned over the years, and see, I'm no fucking expert. The few things that I've picked up along the way is that there's so many uneducated people using. Simply put, a lot of the guys who I've been approached by, the sort of younger guys, and I mean, I'm being asked off guys, you know, if they should jump on and what they should take and all the rest of it. That's not my fucking decision to make for you, mate. You know, at the end of the day, you want to take the shit, you take it. But at the end of the day, if shit goes wrong, don't fucking cry about it because you chose to do it. And simply put, you need to educate yourself on the pros, the cons, and what you're supposed to be doing whilst you're running, when you finish running, if you're going to cycle and all the rest of it. And so many guys jump on and they want to start TRT in their 20s. I mean, get fucked. It's, yeah. Look, do yourself a favour. If you are considering it, make that decision for the right reasons. Don't put that on somebody else because it's not fucking them. It's your life. You do what you're going to do. And at the end of the day, anything goes wrong, it's down on you. And it's up to you to learn how your body fucking reacts to certain compounds. Get your blood tests, understand what PCT is for a fact. You know, these are the basics. And to any sort of existing users out there, the guys who are sort of running, I mean, I know a lot of guys out there do it responsibly, unlike I did over the last couple of years. And kudos to you. You know, it's one thing I'd recommend to anybody out there is having your gear tested. There's so much bunk gear on the market, like all this UGL stuff that's floating around. There's some really good suppliers out there. I'm not knocking majority of them, but there are some fucking shady cunts out there who will sell you shit that's labelled as testosterone and isn't. The other thing to worry about is contamination. Some of the vials I've seen have been full of shit in there, and just remember, you're fucking injecting this into your body. You need to know what you're putting in there. And I know there's a lot of controversy, you know, you shouldn't be putting that shit into your body. You don't know where it's come from. I mean, look, there are some reputable suppliers out there. There are, and that's the thing. Find a reputable supplier, get your gear tested, know what you take, and make sure the dosages are okay. So exactly, you know exactly what you're putting into your body, how much, and don't fuck around with too much. You don't need a lot, you know. And like I say, there's a point in diminishing returns, as I found out in February. And probably the other thing I want to touch base on is Sarms. I've started these Sarms. Look, I've read a lot about them, and I wasn't really sort of a big fan. I was like, you know, how the fucking that should. But like, there's more and more information coming about these, and the more research I do on them, there's a lot of merit in this stuff, and the more people I talk to. I'm currently running a TB 500 and BPC 157 stack. I think it's also known as like the Wolverine stack because of its sort of regenerative and repair and rehab qualities, I suppose. That was for a tear in my super, which was back in February, and I'm actually getting really good results with that. I mean, I'm doing the rehab, and I reckon, looking at the way things are going, you know, we should be able to start getting back under the bench in the next few weeks, and hopefully, you know, moving forward, we can start giving that a bit of a nudge. But I've done this a few times before on the previous 2 tears I've had, and as soon as things start feeling good, I'm straight back into the heavy stuff. And obviously, that scar tissue isn't healed properly, and I reckon what I've done in the past is I've just aggravated and made things worse. So going to try and do things right this time before we sort of get back into it. And yeah, I mean, like, I'm currently running it's probably the vials come in 5 milligrams for the BPC and the TB. I do sort of a vial a week between each one. TB I'm running every 3 days, and the BPC I'm running daily. And protocol I've had a look at online, and it's recommended. I'm just following some protocols I found online, and advice I've been given from people who've actually used it previously. I'm actually currently running an IU of growth in there as well. The only thing I found with the growth is I had sore joints for a while there. That seems to have alleviated since I've introduced the BPC, but we'll keep going. I mean, I had a little bit of water retention in the carpal tunnel initially, but that seems to have settled. But yeah, hoping between the 3 of those compounds, we'll get some sort of good recovery on the shoulder and all the other little bits and pieces that's been giving me shit over the last year or so. So, but yeah, guys, look, can't emphasize strongly enough about, you know, get your gear tested, know what you're taking, and just be safe, because believe me, you know, shit will go wrong if you're pushing. And one thing I found is those big crazy cycles, man, are just bullshit. You know, your body ends up so toxic, your mind ends up fried, you know, your hormones are out of whack. What I found, my estrogen used to be so high, my anxiety, you know, I was a mess. And this is because of elevated testosterone, you know, the aromatization that was going on. I was taking so many different compounds. Yeah, it was just ludicrous, and it's not fucking needed. You know, you can get a lot out of a small amount. And again, to all you new users who are on the fence, you know, my advice is probably, don't. You're gonna do what you're gonna do, regardless of what I'm fucking saying or what anyone else says. So, you know, but just educate your fucking self. You know why you're doing it, and ask yourself some pretty harsh questions, you know, because if you get on, it's going to be, you know, everything's going to be different, your training and everything. So just make the right decisions, and be safe. That's all I want to share with you guys. And yeah, thanks for listening.